BBC back. Here we go. More records. I thought I'd take the opportunity to do another video while I'm here. We got about 10 or 12 records to pump through. Some of these are from, the majority of them are from things I found in Melbourne. Some here. Yeah, let's just get straight into it really. Something I'm really happy to find. We've wanted this for quite a while. This is James Brown's Black Caesar soundtrack. Really nice to get a original copy with the super cool die cut gatefold. I really like this record. It really stands out for me in the James Brown catalogue. Really nice vibe to it. The track that I first heard, which to me doesn't sound really like an obvious James Brown track, is the track Sportin' Life. Has these really beautiful vibraphones on it. Even Dirty Harry and The Boss, there's like those three songs in a row. Just the three hit of those make this a really wonderful, special James Brown record. Yeah, absolutely awesome. I haven't seen Black Caesar, but I imagine it's a blaxploitation movie. Well, it is, definitely. So, yeah, really happy with that. This is on Polydor from 1973. In terms of the backing band on this, it's... is it the JBs? No. Oh, it just says it's composed by Fred Wesley and James Brown. There's no mention of the players in here. Anyway, there you go. It's the JBs. I thought it was. There you go. Okay, mixing it up completely. I'm really happy to finally get this. Handful of Earth by Dick Goen. I'm going to pronounce it that way. A weird story and a sort of coincidental story with this. First of all, this is a Scottish beautiful folk record. I think it's a masterpiece. I felt very emotional listening to it. Not because I'm Scottish or anything, but just the things he talks about and the passion in his voice. So I saw, if you guys remember earlier in the year, I went to a big garage market sale and I saw this record. And I was like, okay, this looks like it could be kind of cool, has a bit of potential. And just because I had so many things in my hand, I put it back, and the cover sort of stuck with me. I was like, okay, this could be interesting. I can see it's on the Topic label, which I know reissued quite a lot of cool folk stuff. I want to say some Townes Van Zandt may have been on Topic at some point. I'm pretty sure it is. Tomato and Topic. Maybe I'm getting those labels confused. Anyway, and then lo and behold, strangely, I'm a really big fan of the comedian Stuart Lee. I think I've mentioned this before on my channel. I think he's a genius. Anyway, he wrote an article for The Guardian in the UK on his top 10 all-time favourite records or something like that. And on a complete off chance, this happened to be like his number one. I think it was his number two. Number one being Hexham's Auction Hour by The Fall. So I was like, okay, really interesting. So he wrote a little story about it, and I was like, okay, I've got to check this record out. Jumped online, and it was beautiful. It was really gorgeous folk. He's definitely Scottish, right? I'm sure he's Scottish. Yeah, Edinburgh. So I was like, all right, fuck, I've got to get this record. So I did go back out to the place that had all these records, and it had gone. This was about maybe 6 months ago. I was like, alright, New Zealand's small, someone has to have snapped it up, and it's probably a store that's going to resell it. So I was sort of checking new arrivals videos and lists, and this popped up at a store in Auckland, which is 9 hours away. So I'm 99% sure this is the same copy that I managed to bring back and get. And it's in absolutely immaculate shape. I haven't given it a clean yet, but it almost doesn't need to. Yeah. If you're into folk music and you don't know this record, I think it's just, yeah, really underrated. Handful of it. He's got another one as well, which names elude to me, that's really good. I can't remember. Anyway, to just mix it up again and go completely different, we're going to Japan. We're going to 1981, 82. We're going to a genre that has since now been dubbed city pop. I don't think it was called that at the time. This is really fun jazz funk, cheesy as hell. It sounds absolutely summery and bright and happy, and it's the first opening track. Just for me, every time I hear it, it just makes me smile. yeah, I really like this Tatsuro Yamashita on Air Records. It's really fun. It's really nice. At first, it's like this. Just the production is so clean and so perfect and so shiny and commercial. It immediately sort of puts you off, but it took me a while to get into this, and when I did, I really enjoy it. Music Book, Morning Glory, Sparkle, Love Talking, Hey Report. They're just real classic fun songs. As the Sun's been out a lot lately, this has been on. It's sort of, yeah, drive down the motorway, hair blowing in the wind, top down sort of fun music. Yeah, really cool, really cool. Highly recommend that one. Sorry if you hear the ambient sounds, there's a bit of a breeze blowing through. I might actually just close the window actually, one moment. This was something I picked up in Melbourne. I was super stoked to find. I used to have a Lilith reissue of this, and it sounded really shit, and the CD, it was like a CD pressing, really low quality, and I got rid of it ages ago. So I've now found a Brazilian pressing, which I found in a record store in Melbourne. I was so excited when I found this. It originally came in 1968. This is sort of an unknown vintage pressing, I think from about 73. Absolutely classic. There's quite a few songs on here that are on other compilations I've got. There's quite a few that aren't on there too. So yeah, fucking killer. This is an essential record really for Tropicalia. Yeah, stoked. I'm really genuinely happy to get that. That was one of my favourite finds. We'll go to Cuba. Wait, is it Cuba? Well, it's Cuban music, but it's recorded at the Montreux Jazz Festival and the Newport Festival. Ira Carey. I mean, I saw this for $10, and it's been on my list for ages. This was a big VC favourite back in the day. Again, I know Record Bug. Dave is a big fan of this, and it's absolute fire. This is a live recording of a really talented jazz band. It's a mixture of jazz, funk, fusion, almost like bits that remind me of Miles Davis live bits and parts, with a real Cuban fire flavour. They absolutely kill this. Really driving bass lines. Yeah, it's definitely worth a listen. I really like this record, and it sounds great as well for a live recording. Yeah, cool. So I mean, a lot of these players apparently are the who's who of Cuban jazz, and apparently a few of them used to hang around and learn from the Buena Vista Social Club. So there you go. Yeah, what a cover. I mean, if that artwork doesn't grab you, I'm not sure what does. Yeah, love it. This was one that I picked up and rescued from the $2 bins. This is Eddie Palmieri. I think it's The Hits Of or something like that. So this came out in 1974 on Tico Records. It's an original press. So Tico are a division of Roulette, and I think it was this was pressed in. Oh no, it's made in the USA. There we go. Anyway, what was I talking about? So this is early Eddie Palmieri, right up until just before he really started experimenting with funk and soul sounds mixed in with Latin, and that sort of is shown almost chronologically through this record. So the last two tracks really zone into more of a soul jazz Latin vibe, but yeah, it's really cool to hear this early stuff. It's just absolute fire. It's not like laid back stuff. They're really going for it. Yeah, I'm not saying a blind, but I didn't know this album in particular, this compilation, but I'm a big fan of Eddie, so yeah, I was really happy to find this. If you see it cheap, it's definitely worth picking up. Every track is really killer. So yeah, that was a nice find. Oh man, I've got a few to get through here. Alright, this record was reissued earlier this year. Bateau, self-titled. Really cool, I guess, soft rock, yacht rock, I guess West Coast is a genre that we can describe this. Fred posted this a while ago and it got my attention, and I saw it got reissued and I almost bought it. Anthony bought it and said it was really good. And then in Melbourne I found this copy. It's not an original, but it's a sort of unknown pressing, but it sounds really great. So I don't think I need to get a proper pressing of it. yeah, just really nice, laid back, groovy. I guess it's yacht rock or soft rock. Beautiful melodies. The track that I didn't know I knew was High Tide, and I don't know why I know this track, but I feel like I heard it as a kid somewhere. And when I first heard it, I knew the words. I knew how the song went, but I didn't know what it was called. It, didn't ring any bells to me. Never heard of Bateau before, so that was a really strange one. Yeah, really cool, really fun record. I like it. It's another one of those ones where it just goes down really well in summertime. A couple of absolute classics here. Probably don't need to talk about this one too much. Curtis Mayfield, Back to the World. Obviously this came out right around the time of veterans coming back from the Vietnam War. Lots of political messages about how we treat veterans and how, I don't need to talk, obviously it's in the title Back to the World on the cover. Future Shock is in there as well. This is an absolute classic. Just the way he incorporates strings into this one. It's super full, super punchy. These guys are just absolutely on fire. Yeah, it's a really great record. This is an original US gatefold in really nice shape. Super happy with that. I've been on a big Curtis Mayfield kick the past couple of weeks. Yeah, there you go. Really happy. This is an essential record if you ask me. Along with Curtis Live and Curtis self-titled. Yeah, there's more as well. Okay, anyway. War, The World is a Ghetto. I guess this is, I want to say psychedelic soul music. Really fantastic. Check out Cisco Kid and Four Corner Room. Yeah, really good, really funky, really sort of woozy and psychedelic. Yeah, awesome. This is a really nice Japanese pressing. I wonder what it was originally, what label it would have been on. I'm going to say Polydor. Oh no, it was on Liberty. Oh, there you go. Great. Yeah, The World is a Ghetto by War. Really great. Alright, we're gonna finish up here, well this segment at least, with another soul record. Archie Bell and the Drills, Tighten Up. Again, an absolute soul classic. Finally got a copy of this. So another story that's purely coincidental with this. I'm a really big fan of a song by the I guess a hip hop rap soul funk jazz band, 90s band Diggable Planets. They have a song called Where I'm From, and that's my favorite track by them. And they use a sample of a guitar riff right at the beginning. And for ages I've been searching for, I've looked on the whosampled.net, all the sampling websites to find out where the original sample came from. And to no avail, I could never find anything like that. To the point where, weirdly, I was either at Anthony's house earlier, whenever it was 2 months ago, and I played him the track and I said, do you recognize the sample? And he was like, I know. He also recognized it, but we couldn't figure out where it was from. Anyway, strangely, fast forward to like 4 weeks ago, and someone on Instagram posted this album cover, and I had never seen it before, believe it or not, and I just happened to go, oh, what a cool cover, look at that font. I'll save it to my Spotify. And I saved it to Spotify, and then later on, a couple of days later, I gave it a listen, and the first guitar that came on is that exact thing. I was like, wow, this is it. I know this is it. So I really enjoyed it, and I did a reverse Google search, and I found out that yes, that's where the sample came from through a couple of different websites. And I was like, wow, isn't that weird? What are the odds of that? That's really strange. So of course, the next thing is to get this record, and front to back, this thing is really great. So much fun. Tighten Up Part 1, Part 2. And I really like A Soldier's Prayer at the end there. Yeah, this is really great. Look at that font. Talking about Tighten Up as well from Typography. Yeah. This is like, one of those records of like, how have I not heard this, The other track that I didn't know I knew was Knock on Wood, which is the last track on the first side. That's another big hit. Yeah, just like makes you wonder. It's amazing when you're learning stuff. All right, we're going to go into some more serious type music here. Richard Horowitz, Eros in Arabia. This is a reissue on Freedom to Spend, which is a great record label name from a couple of years ago. Originally released in the mid to late 70s on a cassette. This is a really amazing mix of Arabic world sounds, strange percussion. Think like an Arabic moondog recorded in high fidelity. I don't know. I'm not going to do that. I say Eastern, but I probably want to say more like Persian and North African sounds, mixed with synthesizers. Yeah, just really fucking cool, and a really unique record. Strange rhythms and really exotic sounding. Yeah, it's absolutely wonderful. So happy to get this. Another one I picked up in Melbourne. And look at that font. It looks like to me, this looks like a death metal record or something. That's a really good one. That's a really good one. All right. This is J.D. Emanuel Transformations 1. This is one of the J.D. Emanuels that I've been after for a long time. Originally also came out on cassette, but yeah, this is a North Star reissue from 2010. I think, yeah, originally came out in 1986. Really sort of super minimal, very spiritual, really like minimal electronic analog synthesizers. Just has this really heavy, thick air of, I guess, yeah, spirituality about it. I guess that's the only way I can think of. The tracks are called Morning Worship, Midday Attunement, Evening Devotional, Midnight Meditation. It is basically meditation music. Yeah, it's really great. It's quite low fidelity, but it's yeah, something I've been after, and I'm really, really happy to finally get it. Yeah, look at that font though. That's a terrible font. What were they thinking? Yeah, this is an Aguirre re-release. Transformations 1, Ancient Minimal Meditations. And the last one is the first ever record by Bill Laswell, which I had never heard. I know the album cover, I knew this is meant to be good, until I saw it in a record store for really cheap, and I snagged it. I looked in the back and I was like, Ronald Channel Jackson, Fred Frith, Bill Laswell, right, this has got to be good. So, I think this may have also come out on celluloid at some point. This is fucking cool. This is, I didn't know what to expect being early Bill Laswell and being the year being like 86 or something like that, 87, 83. It opens with a really strange free jazz composition, and it heads into this really murky, deep funk, dark, funky sound. It's really interesting. Yeah, synthesizers and bass saxophones and electric strings and stuff. It just has a really cool atmosphere to it. It does sound a little bit dated. I mean, the artwork is a bit dated too, but in terms of musicianship, I reckon this is really great. I'm so happy to get this. It's a good one. I am aware of stuff Bill Laswell has produced, and I'm aware of a couple of other bits and pieces, but as a whole, I haven't probably got the best oversight into, you know, I haven't fully explored his works, I suppose. But yeah, if anything is a good place to start, you know, this is really great. Yeah, great, really great. A nice record that I didn't know, and you know, it wasn't necessarily a big want lister or something I was aware of, but it's now jumped up there, you know, it's great. Alright, that is the end. I sort of pumped through those. I've still got more to show, but yeah, that's all. Thank you guys again for watching. If you see this before New Year's, have a great New Year. I'll see you next year. I'm going to keep going with these videos. I still have a few that I want to make. I'm still feeling motivated, which is good after 6 years. But yeah, have a great Christmas and New Year's and whatever you celebrate, no matter where you are in the world. That's all. Bye.